Everybody knows there are good cops and there are bad cops. A shining example of the latter will forever be seared into the public consciousness by incidents such as the LAPD beating of Rodney King in 1991. This highly publicized incident quickly became national news. However, that doesn't mean there weren't other lesser-known police debacles that are worth mentioning. One of the most bizarre was an incident called Fajitagate that occurred in November of 2002, which rocked the San Francisco Police Department to its core. As you might suspect, this particular, or should I say peculiar incident began curiously enough with a bag of fajitas. Why would the attempted theft of takeout food make headlines in the city by the bay? Because what began one cold night when 3 off-duty rookie cops were stopped as suspects in a street brawl quickly spiraled out of control. What made the incident newsworthy was when it was discovered that one of the 3 cops who allegedly started the fight happened to be the son of Assistant Police Chief Alex Fagan. Here's how the story was born. Adam Snyder and Jade Santoro were leaving a neighborhood bar where Snyder worked when they were accosted by 3 men who demanded they relinquish the bag of takeout food Snyder was carrying. When Snyder refused to part with his steak fajitas, a fight broke out during which both Snyder and Santoro were injured. As soon as the 3 attackers fled the scene in a white pickup truck, Snyder used his cell phone to call 911 to report the incident as well as the license plate of the truck. Here's how the Chronicle detailed the event a week later. Within minutes, patrol officers responding to a 911 call from Snyder, who pointed out the pickup truck when it returned and drove by the scene. Police then stopped the pickup truck, which was carrying Fagan, Lee, and Tonsing. None of the 3 were arrested, and police said little about the matter other than it was being investigated. Even though Snyder was battered and Santoro's injuries included a broken nose and lacerations that required stitches, the police seemed somewhat reluctant to pursue the case. According to the Chronicle, Snyder said the officers at the scene told him the men in the pickup truck were being brought to the station to be interviewed. Snyder then said he offered to identify those involved, to which there was no response from the officer at the scene. This was just the start of a wild and woolly ride for the SFPD that would later include accusations of a cover-up, as well as suits and countersuits that would fly back and forth for more than 6 years. Within a year, it would be the SFPD Police Chief Earl Sanders, along with 6 other high-ranking police officials who wound up being indicted for obstructing the Fajitagate investigation. While the obstruction charges were later either dropped by the prosecutor or thrown out by a judge, that didn't mean the incident ended there. Chief Sanders, who wound up on paid medical leave after the indictment, later retired without returning to work. District Attorney Terrence Hallinan, who insists he never sought to indict the police chief, was defeated when he came up for re-election in 2003. In 2004, Chief Sanders sued the DA and the city in federal court, alleging he had been maliciously prosecuted. His suit and all subsequent appeals were unsuccessful. Unwilling to back down, Chief Sanders continued to pursue the suit in San Francisco Superior Court. Once again, the court sided with the city, this time ordering Sanders to pay $27,872 to the city for attorney's fees. Like a Freddy Krueger movie, the Fajitagate monster stubbornly refused to die, spawning a flurry of hearings and headlines, investigations and indictments until 2008, when U.S. Court of Appeals Judge Jeffrey White finally killed the beast by declaring the plaintiffs could not bring federal suit against the city based on the off-duty conduct of police officers. What happened to the 3 rookie cops who spawned the 6-year media frenzy, you ask? They were all tried and acquitted of all charges. While victims Snyder and Santoro failed to prevail in criminal court, they were later vindicated when a civil jury found Fagan and Tonsing liable for the beatings before awarding Adam Snyder $9,500 and Jade Santoro $36,500 in damages. The same jury completely exonerated off-duty cop David Lee while ordering Snyder to pay both Lee and Tonsing's defense costs. As for Officer Fagan's father, Assistant Chief Alan Fagan Sr. retired in 2004, only to die 3 years later while on a trip to London, England. While the crazy court cases spawned by the attempted theft of a bag of fajitas nearly brought the SFPD to its knees, that didn't stop the department from stepping in deep doo-doo once more in another embarrassing and highly publicized incident I'll feature in an upcoming episode of Mr. Mystery called Cops, Flies, and Videotape. Did you like this video? To receive online notification of every new video produced, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And if you really like what you saw here, check out my Patreon page to help me continue the fight.